Antonio and the Lakers, a rematch of a game a few nights ago in which Andrew Bynum had over 30 rebounds, Kurt.
He's really improved, Andrew has, as a ball player. He's obviously still dealing with some frustration issues and immaturity issues, but when you look at how much he's improved this year, he's giving the Lakers a lot of hope for their future with him.
Well, Markieff Harris, meanwhile, with the long jump shot. Great move by Dragic. Off the miss. They come right back at it. Transition.
When you look at the impact that Camby has had on this ball game, offensively he's able to make the life floater, but defensive-wise he's always had an impact. Houston up by 1.
And we had a chance to visit with him, asked him what was the most surprising thing he found so far about his coaching journey. Here's what he said.
Wins. Losses have been the worst. Every time we lose, I think I should be back at TNT sitting around with Chuck and those knuckleheads. But you know, you live and die. That's why when I got out of it, when you don't have a dog, you know, in the fight, it's different to watch a game and not really care who wins or loses. Like that's really weird for me. Since I've been a 12-year-old kid, I've been on a team, whether it was my high school team, my college team, my NBA team, managing a team, coaching a team. And, you know, when the game ends and you go, oh, you know, good game, and, you know, you high-five the guy you do the game with, and, you know, you're done. I'm like, man, there's no, you know, when we lose, look at, I want to jump off the nurse bridge, and, you know, you're miserable, and you know, and you win, but that's how I was as a player. It's the highs and lows, and I just figured at the age I was at right now, I wanted to experience those highs and lows one more time, because this will be the last go around for me. I think the lows are too low.
Pretty candid answer right there. He also added that, hey, he said 3/4 of this game is about going out there and fighting for each other, and our guys are doing that, and that's been one of the more pleasing things so far, too, about his coaching stint.
When you get involved with a group of guys that want to win and like playing for each other, it just brings such joy to your coaching experience.
And that kind of defensive hustle will make the coach smile again. In transition, the Rockets trying to get out and run. Lee unguarded from downtown. Still unable to convert from deep. And the lead still at 3. Dudley with an open look.
Both teams pushing the basketball. In the last 2 sequences, they didn't get matched up in transition defensively, so that's what's going to cause problems for both teams.
Why not? A heat check for Marcus Camby. It's been going good so far.
Well, I think he found out he should be laying the ball up a little bit more. So.
Well, Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy, courtside here, looked over at us and was wincing when he saw Camby wind up and sling that one.
You could tell as soon as it left his hand, it wasn't going to be pretty.
There's a look at one of the great guards of all time.
So feisty and so tough. Great player. Loved the game.
At 5'9", right?
5'9", but he played like he was 6'5". There wasn't too many people that messed with him.
Tell you what, I was a camper at Niagara basketball camp at Niagara University one year and saw him do a baton twirling routine that was world class, folks. No kidding.
But nobody teased him about that. You notice?
Off the turnover, here comes Houston again. Kyle Lowry playing in his 4th game back since coming back from a bacterial infection. He's checked into the game. He'll be running the point going against Steve Nash. Nash has played the entire first quarter. Patterson with a nice spin move.
Patterson's developed nicely as a ball player. That's just great passing by Steve Nash once again. Gortat's job is to play defense, rebound the basketball, and then run right to the basket. And that Steve Nash knows right where he is.
Well, he's gotten a bunch of easy ones that way tonight.
Yeah. He's just beating Camby down the floor.
Budinger launching. Rebounded by Michael Redd. Redd, who's authoring a wonderful comeback story this year, coming back from successive knee injuries. Tore his ACL a couple of times and really starting to round into form right now. Courtney Lee with the steal going against Markieff Morris. Used his body well and got the bucket.
You just love players that play at both ends of the floor. Courtney Lee is an exceptional defensive player in this league.
That hurts. Going to be a blocking foul against Patterson as Markieff Morris took it to the bucket. He'll get a pair. Morris a 71% free throw shooter. We alluded to it a little bit earlier. The bench for Phoenix has been a part of their revival here since the All-Star break, with Michael Redd and Sebastian Telfair, a guy you're familiar with from your Minnesota days, coming into the ball game, and Markieff Morris at the free throw line. Folks, longtime rivals battle on ESPN's NBA Special Edition Saturday night. Steve Nash and the Suns taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Suns Spurs Saturday at 9 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN3, and also live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. A tough journey going down the stretch for the Phoenix Suns. They get the Spurs twice, Kurt.
It's going to be interesting, too, because Greg Popovich in several ball games has held out his key ball players, so you don't know who's going to be playing for the Spurs whenever you wind up playing them. But you're right, Phoenix has a very tough journey. But this, as a player, this is what you want, though. You want to be able to get in the playoffs. You want challenges. You want competition, and they've got it right in front of them. Their journey is right in their hands. If they want to get in the playoffs, they could do it.
They won 11 of the last 17, 8 games to go in the regular season. Kyle Lowry at the foul line, averaging 15.4 a game on the season. He's their second leading scorer. And boy, faced a mysterious bacterial infection when they played up in Toronto. Ended up spending the night in the hospital there, and took him all of about 5 weeks to actually get back to full strength.
It was very worrisome because they ended up having to give him antibiotics through an IV, and you know things are serious when they have to do that. And they had a hard time figuring out what it was, so it was very dangerous for him.
He's guarding Telfair. Great defense by Lowry.
Lowry is tough. He's nasty. He loves to defend people. That's one of the things that has made him a very successful NBA ball player, is his defense. He's improved dramatically offensively, shooting the basketball as well as finishing when he goes to the hoop.
Made Telfair work on that last sequence. 7 seconds to go. Lowry out top. Nice feed to Patterson. Count it with 0.7 to go. And a good way to punctuate a productive first quarter for the Houston Rockets. They close out the quarter.
Thanks a lot, Alvin. All right.
Mark having to pull double duty tonight. Doing a good job interviewing Alvin Gentry, but he's right. They've got to do a much better job of just closing out to Camby and not let him have those wide open shots, but they've got to push the ball a little bit more in transition offense as well.
Good start to the second period for the Suns as Michael Redd knocked down his first field goal, and that's going to be an offensive foul underneath against the Houston Rockets as they ran over Grant Hill. It's against Patrick Patterson. That's his second personal foul, first team of the second quarter. Grant Hill going to be 40 years old in October. Something about the water in Phoenix keeps those guys young. Him and Steve Nash and Michael Redd on cue. A reborn, resurrected Michael Redd.
Chandler Parsons is getting a nice introduction to the NBA. He has to guard several of the top scorers in the league, going from Michael Redd, Kobe Bryant, having a hard time doing it, but he's learning a lot. A very valuable experience for him.
In transition, here's Grant Hill. Redd with a good show and go. Michael Redd, remember, had 25 points the last time these two teams met. He lit the Rockets up pretty good. Budinger up high on the half-court alley-oop.
He's such a gifted athlete. Lowry is always looking to push the ball and read those situations in transition.
Off the Redd miss. Houston looking to push it again. Here's Lowry. Inside. And Samuel D'Alembert with the bucket.
You see how the pace of the game is picked up with the addition of Telfair for the Suns and Lowry for Houston. Both of those guards want to be able to do a good job of getting up and pressuring defensively as well as running offense. And you look at Budinger and his ability to accept and receive lob passes. That's a difficult catch. The ball is in his fingertips, glances off the glass, and he's still able to control it and find a way to put it in the hoop. But that's the type of athlete he is. When you have wing runners that can run, it helps your transition game almost more than you have a point guard that pushes the basketball, because you need those guys pulling the defense away from the point guard. If they run to the corners for shots, it just opens up the lane for the point guard.
Budinger averaging about 9 a game. And folks, the race to the playoffs, hey, it's here. Watch all the live action with NBA League Pass. Go to nba.com/League Pass to learn a lot more. Off the miss. Phoenix with another opportunity in possession here. Telfair running the point with Hill, Red, Morris, and Lopez in the ball game. The second unit has been very productive. They've carried Phoenix a few games this year, especially after the All-Star break.
Well, normally Grant Hill is not part of this second unit because Shannon Fry would be out here. Excuse me, Shannon Brown would be out here. But they have guys that play hard, athletic, move the basketball, and can shoot the ball right there.
A guy you're familiar with from your Minnesota days, Sebastian Telfair, with the 3-ball.
He's improved his outside shot. He's improved his decision-making as a point guard. He's learned a lot from playing in Phoenix and having to go against Steve Nash every day in practice.
Lowry with the jumper. A long two is good. You know, go ahead. We're talking about
on with ACL surgeries lately because players are now not only coming back, but they're coming back just as good, if not stronger, from those surgeries.
Quick healer. A jumper looking like the old Michael Redd a minute ago, Kurt.
Absolutely. He does a great job of getting lift on his shot, but he pulls it so far back behind his head, it's impossible to block as a defensive guy unless you're standing right next to him and go up as he's jumping. And Parsons was not there to contest that shot. And Michael Redd's been doing that for years. Because of the way that he shoots and how quickly he gets up on his shot, he's a very good shooter in terms of getting defensive guys off of him.
Not that long ago, Michael Redd was a member of USA Basketball's men's senior national team that walked through the Tournament of Americas a couple of years ago. He was a key part of that team. Phoenix has cut the lead down to 4. The Phoenix bench has scored the last 11 points for the Suns.
You see Telfair up, pressuring Lowry. Lowry getting a signal for a high screen and roll to come right here.
Trying to shake him loose. Lowry probing. Patterson back to Buninger. Good defense by Grant Hill, which is what he does. He has locked down a lot of different prolific scores league-wide this year.
Because of his height, his length, and his understanding of games and how players play, that's what makes him a good defensive player.
That's going to be an offensive foul, no bucket. It's going against Lopez. A 4-point ball game with 8:35 to go in the first half. Back with more